Hello everybody. Well, we're into June and it's time for me to get started on the sowing of seeds for this month. I've already started early and got some going, some brassicas, and I'll show you those in a minute. But I'm going to go into the newer tunnel. We haven't sown any seeds in there, I don't think, so I thought we'll go and do it in there, change the location and all that, and we'll get sowing some seeds. I've been looking through the seed box, there's some I'm missing, so I'm going to need to order some, and I'll need to revisit seed sowing some stage through this month, but we'll crack on anyway and get some done. Brassica sowing in June is a very good idea, because by the time these plants are ready to go out, they will be replacing the summer crops and they will start to use the beds for over the winter. So I've got a couple of types of Savoy cabbage in there. I think it's a January king and a winter king. Then I've got a couple of types of kale, and I forget it, what else. Oh yeah, I've got a violet cauliflower in there as well. So basically a few winter varieties, and a purple sprouting broccoli in there as well. So these will all be going out into the beds probably next month, I would think, and as space becomes available. Some of them I'll even grow under cover as well. Sowing at this time of the year is often about maintenance sowing. So you're sowing again, so I would call it maintenance sowing or successional sowing. Other people call it other things. Oh yeah, by the way, do you like the shirt? It's alright, isn't it? Did you notice? Just for a bit of fun, can you name the channel where this shirt came from? There you go. There's the truth. Put it in the comments below. Anyway, back to the sowing. So what I've got at the minute, I've got a crate of salad leaves where we're harvesting that for salads. And I've got salad plants in the ground at the front of the plot, and they're growing away. And by the time the crate of salad is finished, we'll be eating that. Backing that up, then, are these plants. These obviously want potted on. There's hundreds of lettuce in there. And then by the time they're done, I'll be starting on these. So it's all about keeping the things coming. And at this time of the year, really, a lot of what you'll be growing is leafy greens, and that's what I'm going to concentrate on sowing today in this video. So I've got a few salad varieties here, lettuce varieties. This one is a grosser blonde, and this is my furrow sowing method, as I like to call it. It just means I can get more varieties in a smaller space. So I just make some furrows with my fingers, sow the seeds in, and I say that's what you end up with. There's probably 4 or 5 varieties in there. So that's the grosser blonde. I should write labels for these. Normally I've done this before we start the video, but a bit out of sorts today, Stephen. Oh well, that's good, that pen's buggered. There we go. Grosser blonde. There we go, that's that sorted. So just pop some labels in it. And the next one is lettuce Sadawi. If I remember rightly, this is a nice red one. It's sometimes actually difficult with all the funny names that you get for some vegetables. It's difficult sometimes to remember the name of exactly that lettuce or that plant that you grew the year before. You're trying to put the name to the plant that you grew. It can be a bit confusing at times. But that's Sadawi. And I can't find the one I really wanted to sow today. It'll be in a jacket pocket somewhere, I know it will. That's the red Grenoble, my absolute favourite lettuce. There is another one. This one is Freckles. This is a nice green leaf lettuce, and it's got freckles on it. So very quickly, doesn't take much to sow. I've probably used about a quarter of a bag of compost this morning, filling up various trays, which I'll fill up with seeds now. And you know, for next to no money, and just a little bit of time and care spent sieving the compost, because it's better for sowing seeds in, then you know you've got yourself a whole load of plants that you can plant out. And these I'm just going to leave in one of the polytunnels on a shelf somewhere. That's all they need. That was Little Gem, that one. And then it's just a case of just putting some compost on the top and they are done. Little Gem and Freckles. Do love that name. There we go. So that's salad done. I'll just need to cover it, and then obviously I'll need to water all of them. Something else I want to get on is some Perpetual Spinach. These are free seeds that came with a magazine some time ago, so I better check the date actually. December 22 and April 23. So we're in date, we're all right. So this is a Perpetual Spinach, and we should be still harvesting from this all the way up till Christmas, I hope. And I'm just going to broadcast these on the top of this. And I'm going to put both packets in. So when you come to harvest these little plants, I'll grow them in a big block, big square block, and you just sort of take, when you harvest, 2 or 3 leaves off each plant. And you really only want the leaf off this. So I know on things like chard I will eat the stem. On spinach I prefer not to. Just want the leaf. There we go, the spinach. What variety was it? Just Perpetual. So you see, very quickly I'm going to have loads of green leaf stuff all the way up till Christmas, just by a bit of careful sowing and taking a bit of time to do it. And it's well worth doing it, because these will just grow on their own now. I mean, all I've got to do is make sure they stay moist and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to keep this salad theme going, and sow some spring onions now. Now, one of the ones I grow a lot is this Ishikura. It's a bunching onion and it's a straight onion, it doesn't bulb at the bottom. And I started growing this one simply because I was rubbish with spring onions. I could never seem to get them to bulb without them being in the ground for what I considered far too long a time. But anyway, I've seen this one. This again was another free one from a magazine at some stage, and somebody gave me these seeds. And this is Pompeii, and you can see there's great big bulbs at the bottom, and it says rapid growing. So we're going to try that. There's not many seeds because it's only a test packet off a magazine, and I'm going to multi-sow these into this seed tray. As I say, there's only 75 seeds in this, so I'll probably only get half a dozen cells, maybe 8, 10. But it's just a trial to see how they work for me. Well, we'll go for 15 cells. There we go. So that's a good little trial. And then the rest of these cells I'll fill up with the... Where did I just put them? The Ishikura. There we go. And I got these from Premier Seeds, obviously. That's where I get the majority of my seeds from. So I'll just fill the rest of that tray up, and then we'll get on with something else. Actually, I've got some parsley here, some giant Italian parsley, which I need to re-sow. I had them growing on my windowsill in the kitchen at home. We went out shopping for an afternoon, came home, and they're all frazzled. It obviously got far too hot in there. Probably hadn't watered them properly as well, which doesn't help. So I need to re-sow them. We're going to do them at home though, because what I do is I boil the kettle, make a coffee, drink the coffee, and then come back, and the water at the kettle then I think is at the right temperature, and I'll water that tray, and then I'll sow the parsley seeds on top, and then I'll water over the top of that with the warm water again, and that just gives them a jolt enough to get going that much better. And I always feel that works, and it takes couple of weeks for germination, because it can either go really quickly and germinate really quickly, or otherwise it can take ages. So that's another one sown. There again, just need to cover that and water it. This next one is peas again, and I want these chiefly for pea shoots. So I've got peas actually growing out in the pot. I've got Monge too, I've got purple peas, got all sorts, but I'd say I want to plant these as module grown plants wherever I want them, really. So rather than doing a gutter full and sliding it out into an area, I'll just put a few plants where I want them and then just pick the pea shoots to go in the salads. It's just an extra bit of something else to go in the salads, keeps the variation there. Also, another thing I like with salads is a lot of herbs as well. So it's not too late to sow basil, and I'll be sowing basil in the next few days, and some coriander as well. They're both quite quick growing, and we'll get them going as well as the parsley. So these just ones pushed in, covered, watered, job done. I say I can put 2 or 3 plants there, or put 10 there, whatever really. And I'll be sowing some more of these for pea shoots elsewhere over the next week as well, but that will probably feature in another video, I think. So I'll just push those in and cover and water, and that's another tray of plants on the go. The great thing is about this, like if I put all these on the hanging shelf, I can just walk along with the watering can and they're all watered within about 10 seconds, so it takes no time to look after them. When the plants are big enough, just lift them and plant them out. And this last one here is rocket. This adds some bite to your salad, a little bit of warmth, and I would recommend you grow this just to add some flavour to your salads. If I can open the packet, and I'm just going to broadcast these seeds on here, and again these will feature in another video coming up sometime else in this month. Again, cover, water. This seed sowing business is too easy. Make a right mess doing it, but there we go. And that's it. Don't forget the brassicas, and if you haven't sown sweet corn, you can sow that now. But there's loads of stuff. Look, you just keep the plants coming. It's so easy. Now, while we're in here, it'd be a shame just to not show you these plants. I planted this up a week ago, probably 6-7 days ago, and the growth in here is just phenomenal since all these plants have been planted. And this is using the new fertigation methods, and again I will come back to that and show you exactly what I'm doing when I am fully up to speed with it, and I can tell you confidently exactly what I'm doing. But I need to do a little bit more work on this yet and get the plants up a little bit taller and support them. One seed I didn't have today that I could have sown, and I wanted to, didn't have any in my seed box, is dwarf green beans. I want to get them sown so that I can grow them in the main polytunnel, but that'll be either on another video or you'll see them at some stage being planted. But I've got to go and order the seeds for that. But otherwise, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please look after yourselves and stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.